All right, young scholars. Today we are going to go through homework number 6, the goal seek. However, I wanted to touch on, we only have 2 groups set up right now. One with Mega, James, and Isaiah. Another with Alana and Judith. Perhaps somebody wants to join Alana and Judith in their group because we have 19 left. So if somebody joins that group, then we can make 6 other groups of 3. Like I said, try and get this group set up by the end of the week. This way you guys have all of March and April to set up your group project. So basically, if I hadn't heard from anybody by Sunday night, I'm going to just set up the groups then and send out an announcement of them. So keep that in mind. All right. So for today, like I said, we're going to go over homework 6 together, goal seek. So if you open this week's folder, you notice there's just a video, there's no file. That's because if you click on Excel homework number 6, it says download the goal seek file and complete the 4 assignments, each in their own worksheet, using goal seek. Submit your Excel file with the answers. So the goal seek file here, click the preview file, and then this little down arrow inside the box. And once you do, you'll have a workbook that opens like so, with 4 worksheets inside: problem 1, problem 2, problem 3, problem 4. So problems 1 and 2 are pretty easy. Problems 3 and 4 might take us a little more time. So problem 1 asks us, what raise percentage can I give to increase my payroll by $70? So first we need to calculate how much each person is making, then add the total together to see what our current payroll is. Then we're going to see goal seek, or use goal seek rather, to determine how we can increase the payroll by $70. So basically goal seek is just a way to test if we have a certain scenario, what happens if we do something? We're seeking out a goal. We're testing a goal, if you will. So in order to calculate what our current total payroll is, in cell D2, we need to start by multiplying the current pay rate of Ed times the number of hours he works per week. We hit enter, we get 480.
Professor,
Yes.
you did that like in 2.5 seconds. Can you please redo that, please?
Yep. See how it's right on the screen here? So we're just multiplying the current pay rate times the hours. So B2 times C2. Can everybody see the formula bar here? So it's just the current pay rate after the equals, the shift 8 to get the multiplication asterisk, and then C2 for the hours. And then see how it's without the dollar sign before the front? So see how here in the number pane, it just says number. We click down and select currency instead. So it puts the dollar sign in front. And then we click back in and auto fill down so that it automatically computes B3 times C3 and B4 times C4 for us. So B3 times C3, B4 times C4. Everyone good with that part?
Yes.
Okay, good. So now what we need to do is add those three numbers up. So we can either just do the sideways M for the auto sum, which highlights all three of them, or we could just simply type that in, equals sum, open parenthesis, D2 colon D4, close parentheses, which is just going to add together our range of cells. So when we add them together, we get $1,563.75. But we are asked to see what raise percentage we can give to increase the payroll by $70. So we need to go to the data formula, or the data tab rather. Everybody has that available on their screen. If not, the help desk sent me these two links to post in the chat if you guys need. So under the data tab, we go to what if analysis and select the middle option here, goal seek. And you'll notice we get this little pop-up here that says set cell to value by changing cell. So our set cell is what we want to, basically we know what we're changing the set cell to, which is the to value part. But then the by changing cell is what we're changing, but we have no idea what the results will be. So we do set cell D5, and we change that to 1633.75, which is simply our total payroll currently, the 1,563.75 plus 700, or $70 rather. Now, by changing cell is kind of up to you, but in this instance, I selected Ed's current pay rate because currently he's making the least amount of money. He's at $12 an hour. Mary's at $15.25 an hour. Charles is at $13.75. So I set cell D5 to the value 1633.75, which is just the current total payroll plus $70 by changing Ed's current rate of pay in B2. When I click OK, it bounces through, and very quickly, if you click OK, you see here it updated our total payroll, and then it changed Ed's current rate of pay. So we click back into the Home tab and simply bold that, so we know that that's one of the answers we have. That changed. But we still have to answer our question. What raise percentage can I give to increase my payroll by $70? So you may remember this formula from what we've done previously with rates. We take the new amount, $13.75, minus the old amount, $12, divided by the old amount of $12. So whenever you're asked to calculate the raise, you take the new amount minus the old amount divided by the old amount. And when we hit enter, we notice we have a general number, .145833. So we go into the number pane here, and we select percentage from our options to change it to 14.58%. And since that's an answer we need, we go ahead and bold that. So do we need to go through that again, or did I go too quick? No? Okay. So we're now 1/4 of the way done with our homework numbers. So now here on problem number 2, this one is even easier because it's basically the same thing. Question 1 says Tom now makes $10 per hour and he is told he's getting a 30% increase. Write a formula in cell C2 that calculates Tom's new hourly rate. So in cell C2, we do equals. We select B2, which is Tom's current $10, and multiply it by 1.3. The 1 represents the $10 that Tom is already making, and the 0.3 represents the 30% increase. So obviously $10 times 1.3 is going to give you $13 when you hit enter. Then question 2 asks us basically to do what we just did on problem 1. Tom makes $10 per hour and works 40 hours a week. He is told he will be getting an increase of $2.50 per hour. Write a formula in cell D2 that calculates Tom's rate increase percentage. So in cell, well, let's bold C2 first, since that's the answer to question 1. Again, it's B2, the $10 times 1.3 to represent the $10 we already have, plus 30% increase. So then in cell B2, we do equals, open parentheses, 12.5, which is the $10 plus our increase of 2.5 or $2.50, minus 10, which is our old amount, or you can simply click B2, close parentheses, divided by the old amount, which is 10. So B2 again. So new amount minus old amount divided by old amount. And when you click enter, it gives you 0.25. So in the number pane, see how it says general? We go and we change that to percentage. And now we get 25%. Bold that. Obviously, these two are pretty easy because it's $10 plus $2.50. Obviously, that's a 25% increase. But in other examples, it may not be as simple. So you always need to know new amount minus old amount divided by old amount. So are we good on those two?
Yes.
All right. So we're now halfway done with homework number 6. However, problem 3 and problem 4 are a little more involved because they have assumptions associated with them. So for problem 3, we're asked to assume you've completed your freshman year of college. In your second semester, you took English and got a C+, math got a B+, physics got a B, Mandarin got a B. Your number of credits for these courses were 3 credits for English, 3 credits for Mandarin, 4 credits for math, and 4 credits for physics, because the math and physics courses might have had a lab associated with. Your first semester, you took 14 credits and had a GPA of 2.93 or 2.92 rather. This semester, you want to have a 3.15. You think that your Mandarin professor might be able to raise your grade. What would you need in Mandarin to get that 3.15 GPA? Note that the numeric equivalent of an A is 4, B is 3, B plus is 3.33, C is 2, C plus is 2.33, D is 1. I'll explain that momentarily. And don't use VLOOKUP to get the numeric rate equivalent. Enter the numeric values of the grade. So in column A, we're going to do A, B plus, B, C plus, C, and D to reflect our possible grades. And then in column B, we're going to do 4, 3.3, 3, 2.3, 2, and 1 to represent the possible quality points based on the grade we have, which is what this row 19 describes. To calculate your GPA, they take how many credits you have multiplied by the possible quality points, add up the quality points, and then divide by the number of credits. And you'll see that momentarily. Then in column D, we're going to type out the names of our courses: English, Mandarin, physics. Then in column E, we're going to type out the grades that we received in those courses, as described here in row 12. English C plus, Math B plus, Physics B, Mandarin B. And then in column F, we're going to type out what I state here in row 13, the number of credits for each of the classes. So 3 and 3 for English and Mandarin, and 4 and 4 for math and physics. Then in column G, we're going to calculate our quality points and then the total quality points in order to see what our current GPA is. So first we do equals. We select the 3 credits that we have for English, and then we multiply by this 2.33 because we got a C plus in English. And the 2.33 represents that. We hit enter, we have 6.99. So if you take a 3-credit course, the total possible quality credits or points you could have is 3 times 4, which is 12. So if you get an A, you have 12 quality points. If you have a 4-credit class, like the math and physics, then you could have a possibility of 16 total quality points for that course. So then we do the same thing for Mandarin. We select our 3 credits, multiply, we got a B, so we select B3, the 3 next to the B. So we end up with 9 out of 12 quality points. So now for the 4-credit courses, we could have a possibility of 16 quality points. We select F3, our 4 credits, multiplied by B2, because we got a B plus. So our 3.33 quality points. So we end up with 13.32 quality points out of 16. And then we do the same thing for physics. Equals F4 for our 4 credits times B3, because we got a B in the course, which gives us 12 quality points out of 16. Then below that, we do the sidewards M to auto sum those 4 together for a total of 41.31 quality points. And in G6, we do equals, we take that amount, and we divide it by C7. And it'll give us a divide by zero error because we don't have anything in C7. So in B7, we're going to type the words total credits. Then in the cell C7, we're going to do equal sum, open parentheses, and highlight our range of cells F1 through F4, which totals our credits. 3 plus 3 is 6, plus 4 is 10, plus 4 is 4, or 14 rather. It gives us 14 total credits and a GPA of 2.95. Well, we want to have a GPA of 3.15. So we go into our data tab, what if analysis, goal seek. We want to set cell G6 to 3.15 because that's the GPA we want. By changing cell G5. Let's see if it actually works this time. Because in the other section, it didn't work. Cell must contain a value. Okay. So then let's just simply type out 4131 and we'll use that instead. So we'll do what if analysis, goal seek, no, we want to change G6 to 3.15 by changing H5. And okay. And unfortunately, it's doing what it did this morning. So if it worked properly, the 2.95 here would change to 3.15, and the 41.31 that was there would change to the correct amount, which was supposed to be 44.1. But it did not work, unfortunately, here. So just type in 44.1, and then below it equals, and select wherever you type the 44.1 minus your G5 amount, the 41.31. And when you hit enter, you get 2.79. So next to the 9 here with Mandarin, we're going to try equals F2, the 3 credits, times, well, we had a B. Let's see if we bump it up to a B plus. We hit enter. We see that we only have an extra 0.99 compared to the 9. Unfortunately, 0.99 is less than 2.79. So now we need to try again. So we take the 3 credits times our A, the 4 quality points. We end up with a 12. 12 minus 9 is 3, which is higher than 2.79. So that means that we have to receive, the professor has to change our grade to an A in Mandarin in order for us to have that GPA. Because if we check here, we do equals the 44.1, divide by our 14 credits, we get the 3.15 GPA we're looking for. So that extra 2.79 quality points we need is only possible if the 3 credits is multiplied by the 4 quality points to give us 12. Because the B plus is too low, we're only getting an extra 0.99 quality points, which is not enough to cover the 2.79. So is there any part of that I should go over again? Like I said, it was a little tricky since the goal seek technically didn't work for us. So here in row 17, if you have all these calculations set up, you simply just type here A in Mandarin. Or you could just type the letter A and then bold it so that I see that you have the answer there. Any questions? No? All right. Last but not least, then, we are on to problem 4, which again might take us a little time due to the assumptions involved. So I have a company that sells only one product. I sell 1,000 units each year. Currently, I sell the product for $5 a unit. There are 3 costs associated to make the product: the raw materials, labor, and administration. Currently, the raw materials cost is $2,500, labor cost is $2,000 a year, and administration cost is $500 a year. Starting next month, the raw material will go up 5%, labor will go up 12%, and administration is going to go up 4%. How much do I have to raise my current selling price, which is now $5, so that I break even? Which means you're going to want to have $0 rather than a negative. So in column A, I'm going to type in these headers: units, price, materials, labor, and admin. So units, here in column or row 14 rather, I simply sell 1,000 each year. So for units in B1 and C1, I simply type in 1,000. In row 15, I say currently the price is $5 per unit. So I simply type in $5 in B2 and C2. Row 16, I mentioned the 3 costs. We have them typed out here: materials, labor, and admin. In row 17, I say currently raw materials at 2,500. So I type that in. Labor cost is 2,000. So I type that in. And administration cost is 500. So I type that in. But then it says starting next month, raw material is going up by 5%. So in C3, I do equals B3 times 1.05, which represents the 2,500 we currently have, plus the 5% increase. Now, when I hit enter, I end up with $2,625. Then for labor, it says it's going up 12%. So in C4, I do equals B4 times 1.12, which reflects the 2,000 we already have, which is the 1, and then the 0.12 represents the increase of 12%. When I hit enter, I randomly get a percentage here. So I look here in the number pane. Oh, it's set as a percentage. We click down. We select currency from our list. and it's $2,240. Then we're asked to calculate an increase in 4% for the administration. So equals B5 times 1.04, which represents the 500 we already have, $1, plus that 4% increase. And again, it shows up as a percentage. So we click up into our number pane and change it to currency, and it's $520. You all good on those three calculations or formulas?
Yes.
Or did I go too quick? Okay, good. So now we're going to calculate our profit, how much money we're going to make. So we simply do equals our 1,000 units, B1, times our $5, B2. Then it gives us 5,000. Then we click back in and simply autofill that formula into cell C6. So that both of them simply reflect the 1,000 times the $5. And we're going to click the 6 here and right click and select insert because I missed a step. And then in the new B6, I'm going to do equals sum.
Wait, so hold on, Professor. So we have to click insert here? Oh, okay. Insert. Okay. Okay,
Yes,
never mind.
if you right click the row and select insert, it'll add a new row there
Okay, I just did.
because I jumped ahead of too quick. I did one step before the total of our costs here. So to total the cost, we're going to do equals sum and then B3 colon B5 to add those three sums together. And then when you do that, autofill it over. And you'll see here the cost is 5,000, which we know it is. 2,500 plus 2,000 is 4,500, plus another 500 is 5,000. And then when you autofill it across, you see that we have 385 extra dollars there. And that's what we have to determine what we need to do or cover basically with our new cost. So then under the second 5,000 here in B7, which was our 1,000 units times our $5, we're going to do equals B6 minus B7. So we're subtracting our costs and our expenses. So when we hit enter, we have 0. 5,000 minus 5,000 is 0. We click back in and autofill across. So now we have to cover that $385. So the amount of money we're spending, our expenses between the materials, labor, and administration costs is $5,385. But we're only making $5,000. So we have to cover that $385. So we have to determine how much we want to change the selling price to so that we break even. We want that 385 to be 0 instead. So we're going to use goal seek again. So we click the data tab, what if analysis, goal seek. So the set value, C8, is our $385 that we have to change our price in order to cover. Because right now that $385, that's negative. That's an expense we have to cover. So the to value is 0. We want to break even. We don't want to be losing money, but we're okay if we just break even in this example. And then by changing cell, we select C2, which is our price. We want to know what our change in price is so that we break even. So we're changing our current negative, our expenses we have to cover, to 0 so that we break even by changing the price. So when you click OK here, the 385 now turns to 0, as you see here, and the price changed to $5.39, although technically 5.385. Now we simply click back in the Home tab and we bold that to show that we answered what our new price is. Now, obviously, not in every instance is this going to match exactly that the 5,385 was covered by simply adding 0.385 to the dollar amount. It just so happened to work that way because I gave you very basic and easy examples here. So is there anything with this problem 4 that you guys would like me to recover, review? I went too fast on. No? All right. So basically all you would do now is save what you just did with all 4 of these problems and go back and click on Excel number 6. And you go ahead and submit your file as you've done with your other homeworks. And you've done everything you guys need to do for this week. Even though this isn't due until Sunday, you're done. You don't have to worry about it. So as always, I'll post the lecture recording there. Like I said, go ahead and try and get these groups set up by the end of the week. Like I said, perhaps someone would like to join Alana and Judith. So this way we only need 6 other groups of 3. And like I said, if I don't hear back Sunday night, I may just plop whoever's left in a groups together and I'll just send out an announcement on that. So are there any questions? If not, I'll see everybody on Monday. Enjoy the rest of your day and the rest of your week.